Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're doing like a how-to video on like your four-wheel drive tractors. This one happens to be on the New Holland TC40 horse tractor, good size tractor. TC40a four-wheel drive. So basically what it is you got a tractor that the axle seals leak, pretty common. This doesn't apply to all tractors, but it applies to a lot of them, and it's done very similar. And I got that side apart right there. This is the assembly that you will see when you take it out. I'll show you and take you through the process. There's no special tools required. I mean, a seal driver, a hammer, chisel, a few other little things. But this one came in here mainly for this side here because the bearing we're going to find as well when we do the seal. The bearing is definitely shot. The wheel is just like loose, really loose. It's been loose for a long time. Clearly the seal's leaking now. So we're going to go ahead and take this apart and show you what's involved. All right, so like I said, this is the assembly. I've actually already assembled it and put a new seal in there. Customer got his stuff right from New Holland, so you know it's good stuff. You know it's going to fit. That's important as well. First things first, you're going to want to drain this gearbox out. And yes, they're like separate little planetary, I guess like it's like a rear end. It's like a ring gear in there. But there's a drain bolt down here. And then a fill up here, and then there's another fill on the axle itself, some gear oil that goes in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing draining. And basically why we're taking this apart is, I mean, you can see that. There's a lot of play in there, like a lot of play. And then we're gonna go ahead and take out all these bolts. At this point, you're gonna take a little bit of a hammer, chisel, however you wanna separate that, because these things are literally glued together. That whole assembly will come out. We'll bring it over there and I'll tell you how to take it apart. I think we're gonna find a little carnage as far as the bearing goes. So let me get a drain in. All right, getting that 17 millimeter head bolt out of there so we can get this thing draining. There's like literally horse manure everywhere. But we blew this thing out pretty good, I thought anyway. But we'll get this draining, and you can speed up the process of draining by taking out the 19 millimeter fill and let this thing get some air in and let that oil really flow out. After it's all flowed out, and at least the majority of it, that's when you're gonna go ahead and take these bolts off. And it is a 14 millimeter you're gonna need for these. And again, this is for the TC40 on the New Holland. However, a lot of other tractors are set up very similar to this. And I looked, there wasn't a ton of videos out there on this and how these go together and how they work. So I wanted to do something. And it's yucky, like we expected it to be. It's never been changed, I'm sure of that. This tractor's got like, I think it has 9,000 hours on it, actually, honestly, original engine. But that fluid will come out. It's just a gear oil 8090 weight. You're gonna lose about 1.5 quarts out of this gearbox on this machine anyway. All right, well that's finishing draining. I'm gonna go ahead and start loosening these bolts up here. We got our little, it's actually a 1/2-inch drive fuel Milwaukee impact gun. This thing is a beast. I've said it before, it's just a 12 volt, but it is a beast. It works so good. I'm gonna go ahead and get those all out of there, and then we're gonna have to tap that thing with a hammer, maybe a little chisel to get it free, and literally hold on to it because it's heavy. It's gonna come out as an assembly. All right, now what you can do is you take your ball peen hammer or whatever, you're gonna kind of just tap it around here, try to break some of that silicone free. You may have to use a chisel to get in here and give it a good tap. The other side came apart pretty easy, but I did need to use the chisel. I can't hold the camera and the chisel at the same time, but basically you're getting between the two gasket surfaces. And that's another thing worth mentioning. You're gonna want to have some gasket maker on hand because there's no gasket here, it's just silicone. I leave the top 2 bolts in so this thing won't just drop out because it weighs like 20 pounds. So that at least gives it something to land on and not fall to the ground. All right, a couple good smacks with the hammer. We got it broke free, as you can see. But our bolts are holding it from falling to the ground or in our bucket of gear oil and splashing all over my nice brown boots. We can't have that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. Pull this thing out of here, just come straight out, and then we'll set it up over there. You can kind of see, and I'll show you what we gotta do next. All right, once that's out of the way, you're gonna have to clean out this gearbox too. And as you can see, there's definitely was some metal in there. So I think we're gonna find, what we're gonna find in this is gonna be a bad bearing. And it's probably not this inner bearing, it's gonna be this bearing way in here. So it'll be outboard bearing as far as where the wheel goes. This is the one that's done, ready to go back on. This is the one that we're gonna change. Honestly, And I thought this as well, that these was pressed on. I'm like, this is gonna suck. However, you come at this thing with a small 3-jaw puller or literally 2 pry bars, boom and boom, and it just popped off. At least the other side just popped off, so I think I'm gonna get that lucky. I'm feeling confident. All right, basically I'm just gonna take 2 pry bars, I'm gonna put it under here. I might have to get a hammer and just tap it. I can't really do this, my camera's gonna fall. But the other one, I just went like this a couple times around it, and it comes off. Trust me, it comes off. Give me a second. All right, no press involved. It was a little harder than the other side because I think, like I said, on the inside, we're gonna find a bad bearing, so this thing saw some wear. We're gonna replace both of these bearings, even though that one's not bad. Now, you got that bearing out of the way. You see this is splines right here. This is the same way. You can literally pry this. I can't do it with one hand. You can kind of pry this up out of the way and it'll pull up. No special tools, you don't need anything. It's heavy, so you might need to tap it or whatever. It'll come apart. I'm telling you it will. It's not that difficult. I'm gonna try to do this to show you, but it does move. I just had, there we go. See? That's it. Literally pull this off, and inside there's a clip. So stand by, let me pull it off. All right, so there's a clip on the back side right here. It's actually a 2-piece clip. So you take this out. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. Take the 2 pieces out, and what it is, I'll need a magnet, but you take those 2 pieces out. There's a recess in the back of this ring gear. That's what holds this clip in, which essentially is what's holding the end of your axle from coming out. And as you can see, I don't know if you noticed that, but that bearing, it's literally in pieces. Like this carnage, like that bearing was gone. So we caught it in time before we grenaded anything or messed up teeth from the pinion angle and all that stuff being off. But let me finish getting it apart, and then we will probably have to be hammering or tapping what's left of that bearing out. I'm just taking the clips out. You don't need to replace the clips, but I think the customer got new clips, so we're gonna put new clips in it like this. It's just 2 halves like that. All right, so check that out. There's a little bit of a bearing failure. Yeah. All right, now the clip's off. Basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna carry this over to the bench with 2 hands. I'm gonna set the bench over there because this is too bouncy, this plastic tray. Set the edge of this on the bench, and I'm gonna tap this with, you could use a leather mallet, a hard plastic mallet, whatever you've got. And this should tap out. Now, this bearing saw some pretty damage. I don't know if it will tap out, but it should just tap out. So you're gonna hold this side, set this side on the bench, tap here, or you can put a piece of plate here so you're not damaging the end of the shaft when you hit it if you need something harder. Just be aware that it's gonna drop out, so pay attention where your toes are. All right, it tapped right out, landed on our foam mat, not my foot. And now this bearing, actually the other one just pulled right out. I was able to just pull it right out. I think we're gonna have to tap this one out because we gotta drive the seal out too. But what we'll do is I have a couple pieces of pipe here. We can find a piece of pipe or a punch or anything you've got laying around that'll go in the center of that race and tap it. That bearing should just drop right out of there. Literally, let me see what I got here for punches. All right, it's brass, but it'll work. I'm just gonna tap around the inner race, drop that bearing out, and then we're gonna drive the seal out as well, as we can put our new seal in. But before we put any new parts in, we're gonna bring this over to our parts cleaning tank and give it a good degreasing wash so we have a clean slate to start with. We're not reintroducing grease and grime and dirt into those bearings. Again, nothing is like a hard press fit. That bearing, although not much left, it did come right out of there. So that is gone. Now we're gonna go ahead and drive our seal out of there as well. And it's interesting because this seal is installed what appears to be backwards compared to the other side, because that brass section should be facing outboard or the water side of the, yeah, I think this seal was installed. This has definitely been replaced before because it should be facing, so there's a brass, I don't have it right here. Let me grab a new seal, I'll show you. Now there's 2 designs, and this is a new design. So if you look here, mount the part, so the iron sheet side faces the outer side, meaning muddy water. So this side faces out. They had it, so this side was facing out. I don't know, made a huge difference, but it was wrong. So that's the way it goes. This side faces out. So We do have a seal driver. You could use whatever you got to drive a seal out. That's, I guess, the only special tool I have is a seal driver. You can buy these. You can find them on Amazon pretty darn cheap too. So it does make it a lot easier when it comes to removing or installing seals, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a few taps, tap that thing out of there, and give it a bath so we can put a new seal in. All right, so here we go. Now we're going to clean and degrease this part, as well as the ring gear to make sure we have a clean slate with everything. There was a couple chickens over here spying. Oh, right there. Not really sure why he's in here, but yeah, there's always chickens in here. But we're going to wash them in the parts tank and then clean up our gasket surfaces and get into reassembly. There's never a dull moment here at Flip and Customize. Like, I have a couple chickens that have made their way in here. I'm not really sure what they're doing behind the tire machine, but they're just hanging out, and he's never been in here before. Hey, get out of here, dude. Move it along. Where's your honey? Where's your female? I think she's hiding. Oh, there she is. Take a hike, dude. Let's go. Like I said, never a dull moment here. Never. Farm animals in the shop hanging out with you. How cool is that? All right, that is the silicone I use, the Permatex Ultra Gray. I mean, you can use whatever you want. That's just a high torque application. It's fine. You can use whatever you want. But what you're going to do, again, we just gave these a bath, so I got to wipe them all down. But we're going to put a bead around here when we go ahead and put the assembly, and we go ahead and assemble this. But I'm going to blow these off, dry them off, wipe it off, clean the gaskets, get all that ready to go. Then we'll do the bearings and seals. All right, as far as like getting rid of the remaining silicone, you can use a razor blade, whatever you want to use. We use these Scotch-Brite pads here. Let me get in the camera. They do a pretty good job cleaning that surface right off. And then I'll wipe it down with some brake clean before we apply the new silicone. What we're going to do now is we're going to tap this seal in here once I finish cleaning this up, and I'll show you how we do that. All right, as far as installing the seal goes, remember the copper or brass or metal side faces out, which is contrary to what some people would think. However, every seal manufacturer is a little bit different, and this one specifically calls that out. We're going to go ahead and set our seal driver on top of that and give it a tappy tap. And honestly, it goes in pretty easy. You could use a press, however you want to do it. You could use a block of wood, a 2x4. It should go in nice and even. So you want to tap this all the way around, make sure it's nice and even. That's the nice thing about this. I can keep it centered if I'm not holding the camera, and I can tap this here, and it's going to go in nice and flush. We're just flushing it with the outer edge. All right, new seal is in, nice and flush. What we're going to do, too, before we put the shaft in there, we're going to put some lube on this section here so it goes on the shaft. But next thing you do is give this another quick wipe down, and I'm going to set the new bearing, because remember, the old one is no good. We're going to set the new bearing right in here, and then we're going to go ahead and put our shaft in. We're well on our way to putting this together. All right, here's the new bearing. We'll get this opened up. Same thing. I'm just going to tap this thing in here with my seal driver. It goes in that easy, honestly. That easy. All right, we got the bearing in here. Just literally just tapped it in there and set. No problem at all. I'm going to go ahead and put some lube on that seal. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this shaft. Probably do it right over here. Take this, well, it's where your wheel mounts, the outermost wheel shaft. We're going to lube that up and then slide this right on as an assembly. And we might have to tap it a little bit, but honestly, that's it. That'll go on, and then the ring gear in that clip. All right, so we're just going to set this here, lube up our bearing and seal, slide it on here, and then the ring gear is going to go on in the clip. So pretty straightforward. Like I said, after I put some lube on it, we're just going to slide this on. You might have to tap it a little bit, but it should go pretty easy. All right, after a little back and forth tapping on here, and one thing you couldn't do too, it actually made it a little easier. If you just put the seal in this housing, slide it on the shaft, then put the bearing and tap it on. And I just had a piece of exhaust pipe laying around, so I just went and tapped it on with the exhaust pipe. But you know it's on all the way when you see the groove for your snap ring. You're good to go. All right, I went ahead and put the clip in, and I should have showed you, but it's literally it's just two pieces. I mean, they don't snap in or anything. They just fit into this groove, just like that. And it's honestly, that's what's holding your wheel and everything on. And then we're gonna go ahead and slide this ring gear back on, and you see the recess in the ring gear? That goes over that clip. So I'm gonna do this way. I'm trying to, right? Like so. You just gotta engage the splines. It's hard to do this with one hand. My tripod is, there we go. And that I believe it's on all the way. Yeah, you can see where it's mated. That's over that clip. So those clips cannot come out, so therefore your wheel cannot come off. Next thing is that last bearing, and again, that just taps on. Then we're gonna apply a beauty silicone and mount that thing back to the tractor, and you are good to go. All right, so we got a new bearing on this one because, well, the other one saw so much stress. And the same thing, you literally, again, one-handed, it just taps on, as you can see. And you just tap it on evenly, just make sure you're going on nice and even. And then that'll be flush. Doing this, bouncing around with one hand, but it's about halfway on. I'm gonna go ahead and tap that on. It doesn't go on that hard as long as you got it on there nice and square. And then we get into silicone. All right, bearings on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my silicone, the gray, and I'm gonna put a bead on here. Smooth that off with my finger, and same on the other side. We're gonna slide that in and put all the fasteners back in. Then it's ready for fluid. All right, silicone on. Now we're just gonna go ahead and carry this over here carefully. We're gonna set it into our housing that is already all wiped down and cleaned off. Just gonna set it in there. We're gonna get our fasteners all started, and I'm sure there's a torque value on that. I don't know what that is, but it's probably gonna be good and tight. All right, and it's important that you get this thing installed nice and evenly. So get all your fasteners started. You might take a mallet and kind of tap this in to get that inner bearing to make sure it's good and seated. And then you're gonna go tighten these in a nice even motion and get that thing to sit flush, and the silicone will come out, and then it's good and tight. And add some fluid, check your fluid levels, and you're back out tractoring. All right, everything's in, snug down. As you see, we got the squish of the silicone. We're gonna let that set up probably an hour before we go ahead and put any fluid in this thing. But in a nutshell, that's what we did. We did the wheel bearing and seal assembly on this New Holland TC40a, I believe. But it would apply to most New Hollands, and honestly, a lot of other tractors in general are set up very, very similar to this. To kind of give you an idea, it can be intimidating when you look at these things and what's going on in there, but it's really not that bad. So I hope that video helped out some of you do-it-yourselfers out there, or farmers that want to save some money and not bring it to a dealer and cost you a fortune. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Let me know what else you want to see. We do work on quite a bit of equipment here at Flip and Customize, from skid steers to excavators, our own stuff, tractors. So we could do more videos. I don't think to do them that often. So thanks for watching. Scott, Flip and Customize.